In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down Jalen Brunson. He is a fantastic player in the NBA, and he is, in a way, kind of unstoppable. So let's get down, let's check him out really quickly. If you want to be able to shoot the basketball better, make sure to go check out my hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below. Now let's get down to the video. Okay, so coming off of this DHO, Jalen Brunson attacks the basket hard. The reason why he does that is because his man went over top of that screen. If you are using a screen and your guy goes over top, you need to cut in quickly. Keep him in jail behind you as we see right here. He is now going essentially one-on-one against the hedge man, who is much taller than Jalen Brunson. Now he goes across the key, and going across the key is a great strategy because now you're going to be gaining a lot of attention from multiple different players, and your teammates could be cutting towards the basket so that you could pass them the ball. We don't see that here as much. We do see a man posting up, but what Jalen Brunson does really well actually is that shot fake coming off of this quick step back. It's a shot fake. Technically he's on his left foot here, and then he steps through for that fake. Now, the reason why the referees may not have called this a travel is because they probably thought that he landed on both feet at the same time. This is a very fast game, even though there's two referees who have clear sight. But either way, it's the NBA. So, in game, in real life, if you did this move, you would have to land on 2 feet at the same time. He then stepped through as if he was about to take his 2 steps this way, which got rid of that player. And then he was able to take his step back, and technically if he landed on 2 feet at first, then that would have never been a travel. But the reason being is if that's the planted pivot, then he can step through, get rid of that player, and then step back. It's not a travel. Now, while Jalen Brunson is known as an ISO player, he still is pretty good on the fast break by getting that ball ahead as fast as possible to his teammates. Now, what makes him so good here is, of course, he quickly attacks that left side, does that quick in and out dribble, making it look like he was about to attack that gap, and then he goes back towards that right side, pushes off his left foot, and then he's able to gather and go up for his shot. Now, why is this such a great shot for Jalen Brunson? Well, he's a left-handed player. By pushing off and going towards his right side, that allows his left side to get in line with the rim much faster so that he can get these shots off over top of defenders much quicker. Now, because he's such an ISO heavy player, when he attacks off of a screen, he's going to get that hedge man much more often. And when that happens, the defense needs to be able to handle that, which means that in this case, there's 2 different ways of technically covering this. This guy could have moved down to cut off that drive, which would have left the 3-point shooter wide open. Or we could have had this man come out for help and communicate saying, hey, I've got help, which then allows Gobert to go back to his man. This guy should have slipped down so that he covers 2 guys. However, we don't see that happening. These guys defensively are cement feet, and now Rudy Gobert is all by himself on an island 2 against 1. And whenever that happens, you need to send up the alley-oop or a pass to the roll man because at this point, you've got 2 players on you. Nobody is guarding this guy. If you're a younger player, this could be a bounce pass right here. An older player who can dunk, obviously, alley-oop dunks are a lot more fun. Now, coming off of the screen, he went just a bit too wide, and that allowed his man to slip between him and the screen man. When that happens, he did not have the ability to get this guy in jail on his back, and he was continuing to attack that rim. Because this guy was not trapped behind his back, Gobert was able to cover both guys at the same time. Jalen Brunson, being a very good high ISO player, is able to notice that. He's able to come to a long stop, gather the ball at this point. He's got both feet as a pivot. Then he uses his left foot as the planted pivot so that he can turn back around. And why this is actually a good decision, again, comes down to him being a left-handed player. He's spinning towards his left, which is towards the right side, which means that he's able to get his shoulder and elbow in line with the rim much faster because he's a left-handed player, and he's able to make that shot. So here, what we see is a very smart play. He starts to look like he's about to go towards that right side, and the defender started cheating over top of that screen. He then denied the screen, crossed back over, which then gave him the lane to the basket. He's able to attack that basket hard, draws multiple defenders, but he is then able to read that and kick that ball out. A lot of people give Jalen Brunson a lot of issue or a lot of troubles, or at least a lot of bad talk, because he's such an ISO heavy player, but he's a very smart player, and at times, because now when he draws multiple defenders, he knows to kick it out. If you're a young player, if you ever get multiple defenders on you, why even take the layup if you have somebody cutting it off? Kick it out for a 3. It doesn't matter if that guy can shoot it or not. If it's wide open, he better make it, and if he doesn't, you're in position to get the rebound. So kick that ball out. Be a team player. Now, while this is a play that I kind of hate because there's a lack of passing and your offensive players are just standing there saying, well, we'll see what you can do. I really hate this type of basketball, but if you're going to do this and take your guy one-on-one and everyone clears out, you're basically calling ISO. If you're doing this, you need to be able to know how to use glass. Jalen Brunson knows how to use glass. He was able to get it up nice, soft, and high. Remember, if we go to that backboard, from the corner of that backboard to the corner of that square, what you need to be able to do is to hit that ball somewhere in that area. Depending on, of course, where you're angled, you need to know how to do it. But it takes a lot of practice, but he's able to get that ball up high over top of the defenders, knows how to use the backboard, and lays it in nice and softly. Jalen Brunson's actually a pretty good defender as well. So here, there was a little bit of a cheating on the screen. They couldn't set that screen. This guy went over top, which means that he's basically cheating on the screen. Rudy Gobert is able to read that, and he's able to go to that high post, and the ball handler is able to get him the ball there. Jalen Brunson is in help position. His man is way off the screen over here, so he's in help position. He doesn't want Gobert to score. This guy needs to be sliding down, but he didn't do that. Jalen Brunson, as soon as Gobert puts that ball down, he digs on that player. This is very important. If you're a shorter player, don't even go for anything up high. Go for that player dribbling, and that's what you have to do. And he was able to dig and get that ball free from Gobert. And now what we see with Jalen Brunson is that quick. All he does is a quick jab towards that right side. He doesn't even cross over the ball. That gets that defender onto his heels. He is no longer balanced. His butt is well past his heels, and his shoulders are well beyond his heels. Very unbalanced. Now he uses his off arm to be able to hold that defender into trying to get him in jail behind him. It's really hard to, but he was able to stop quickly and get that floater. And if you're trying to, of course, get that player in jail and he's just too fast to keep him in jail, you can set up floaters quickly. Watch this. 1-2, quick stop and up. That's what you need to do. He was able to make this shot. And quick stops, if you can't get him totally behind you, that's what you can do. Make sure to go check out my hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below. And I hope that this video has helped you become a better ISO player in a way, but also a player who can play ISO and kick that ball out for the open 3. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.